Today's video we're going to be reviewing the X-Rocker High Sleeper Gaming Bed. Is it worth it? What's it like to put together? Is it safe? What are the benefits? And what did I do to make it even better than then when it comes out the box? Well, we'll get on to all that.
Join the fight with no countdown.
You know how it works on the channel by now. One take, I run through it, and over the top I'll drop overlays of kind of the process of what we went through. So first of all, the why. Why did I get one? Well, No Camp Son deserves an awesome gaming setup for one, because the guy's awesome. Yeah! For two, it's room, and it's basically the benefit is room. So if you elevate your bed and underneath that is a gaming space, well then you're not using any other room in the room or any space. So it was mainly driven by that. So, boom! So I decided to get one of these and see what it was like. Well, you don't have to make the mistake if you don't want this, because I'll take you through the process. First of all, the price. You're looking at around between £250–300 for the actual tall sleeper bed. If you go look at all these kind of gaming beds, that's probably on the lower to mid-range of some of them you could get, because some of them are absolutely epic beyond belief. Have you seen the ones that are like £1,500, by the way? Ridiculously amazing. However, when you do the measurements and break them down, the space ain't that great. They just look amazing and they got lights all over them, but is it the most beneficial? Wow, I decided on this. So comes in two boxes, as you can see from the screen. I put this together in about 3 hours on my own. One person. It will tell you on the box 2 people. It's predominantly larger parts, so it is possible doing one. The only bit that was tough was the two ends of the bed, and you kind of connect the frame together. If you imagine like an A-frame, one end in the middle, yeah, like almost a bridge. I had to really think outside the box. I had to balance one end to get one end on my own. Just get someone else to help you out would be easier. Anyway, legit did it on my own. The actual instructions you get, they're decent. They're quite easy to read. X-Rocker, what I will say is put more detail into where the no nuts and bolts and washers go. You do for some of them, and then on other pictures it's like, well, am I putting them here or not? But overall they're quite easy to read, to be fair. They come in a little box where everything's numbered. Every piece is numbered, so it is actually quite easy to build. Have you ever bought some outrageous thing from some dodge website and it's ridiculously hard? It's by the worst pictures, nothing's numbered, wardrobes or whatever. I've done that. You make mistakes and then you have to go again. Well, you're not going to have that issue with this bed because it is quite easy read. I will give it that. So once it's made, put it together, obviously. Now here's the kind of kicker with it and why I think I made it better. And the end product, which is what you want to see, and the actual gaming setup bit. You don't want to be bored to death with the construction of it. What I will say is, as you do the instructions and you make your way through them, the instructions will tell you to build the ladder one end, obviously to the bed, and the table's going to be the other end, which is fine. It can obviously be built like that. But for me, I built it that way, and then I looked at it and thought, they've got all the same holes and all the same parts for the screws. The other end of the bed, where the table goes, you can fit the table the other end. Now for me, the benefits of this are the table goes underneath where the ladder end is, and you'll see the end product, so obviously you'll see exactly what I mean. But this gives more space, the other end, because your entrance route is partially blocked by either or. You have the table and you have the ladder, which means your space like that. Or you have the table and the ladder there, and then you've got this big gap at the back of the bed to fit your stuff, gaming chair, or other cupboards if you want behind it. You've got enough space. This is just me. It might not work for you. Then on from there, you're onto the actual gaming setup. Now look at this. This is clean as all hell. And here's how I made it better, and I'll put on the screen what you need to buy if you want to kind of replicate this, and also the reasons why. So number one, first of all, I mounted the gaming monitor onto, there's like a metal mesh, and you only fit this mesh the table end one side. This has no bearing on the bed frame itself, really. If you put a ridiculous amount of weight on it, then obviously it might slip out its brackets. We don't want that, you know. Kids are going to be using this predominantly. We do not want to put a joke amount of weight on there. However, look how clean this looks. The monitor is lightweight. That mesh you see is screwed in by, I think it's 2, 4, 6, 8 or 9 clips into the frame, and does not affect the stability of the bed if you put a light enough thing on there. In this case, the monitor is quite light. So I installed it with myself with kind of like a monitor arm hidden in the back, and then screwed it in place, and then kind of used some cable ties around it. It's solid as hell. That's never coming. You couldn't pull it off if you tried. So it's solid on there and gives you more space on the desk. This was part one. I thought, I've got to make it better than this. Of course, you don't have to do this. This is just what I did in options. But it basically made the gaming desk area larger for me. Okay, so I put that on there. Then also, just that you can see probably from the videos a little bit, there's a little bit of wiring going on where I've just put some kind of like channeling in place, like a metal channel or cable tidy down the back of the bed, and also put that in place to channel all the cables down to the plug socket where they need to go. So it just looks so clean. And I'm a cable freak. Can't have cables everywhere. It annoys me. If you've seen the last video where the Xbox into PC one, you've seen my gaming setup and you know how clean I like it. So with this one, same thing, same process. I'm like, gotta make this cleaner and more efficient, give him more space to do what he needs to do, and homework area or whatever. Okay. On from there, what I did was bought a pegboard from IKEA, and I'll put that on the screen. It's like bought a whole kit. You can buy it with the attachments, or you can buy it without, just clean, whatever you want to do. But essentially in that corner where it is, I've fitted a pegboard for more stuff in that area for the setup, and then also just a wall-mounted gaming kind of dock for games, as you can see from the screen. Put that in the corner as well, and there's a little fridge there and stuff. You know, the stuff that kids love. So it's a unique setup. But that pegboard I would definitely get, because really all you've got is a desk and that's it. There are no drawers with it. Now you could easily buy your own and put them underneath. And you could also put the odd thing on the mesh if you wasn't using it. Or you could put the pegboard on the mesh, which would also look clean as hell. But I chose to put the monitor on there. But that's what I did. IKEA pegboard on the left, as you're looking at it on screen, and a little storage unit for games. This makes it, you know, such a little unique area, and there's everything there that he needs to do it, and he can expand it over time. Things like, you know, headphone socket. What else has he got in there? earpods, whatever they're called. I don't know. I don't have an iPhone, but you know that stuff. It's all in there in one place. It's unique. It's great. By the way, catch the chair. There's a chair review coming with Get versus a kid's chair coming soon in the X-Rocker world. No, Camp Dad, all these X-Rocker videos, you employed by them or on commission? No, I'm not. Wish I was. But anyway, yeah, in all honesty, that's what I would do for that section. That leaves you loads of space behind the chair, and it works well. Socket wise, obviously you're going to need to be close to a plug socket wherever you're going to put it, and that might ascertain which end you put the desk at, or you're going to need an extension lead trailing round to wherever you have your desk. If, of course, you're going to use electronics on it. But you know what it's like these days, chargers for everything. You need a lot of sockets. So I've stored it all down there, and that's how it works. That's pretty much what I did. The only things to add, couple of points that are really important. If you've got a particularly tall son or daughter, this might not be the one for you. Now, it is high. As you can see, the bed is not far off ceiling level. They've tried to maximize the space all they can. But if you've got if you or your kids are really tall, this might be a bit of a pain for you, because you'll be kind of bending down to get it in it all the time and coming back out. And obviously once you're in, you're gonna have to really come out to stand up. And obviously it's better to get stretched now and then. You'll have to come out of the area, but that's, you know, it's minimal. But just take that on board. If you have a really tall person who's going to use the bed, might not be the best. It's not cramped in there at all. There's lots of space. They've put the bed to the maximum height they can, really. But if you're really tall, you will not be standing out that without banging your head. Number 2, which I haven't done yet, I had to turn the flash on for the pictures you can see, but you're going to need a light under there as well. That's something X-Rocker, you perhaps look at building that in. It gets quite dark under there. You're either going to need a lamp, or you're going to need an overhead light, like lamp leaning over the individual who's using it. That's something I've got to install still. I'm just looking at the right one to buy. Some kind of clip to the mesh that bends over the top, kind of a lamp. But then again, it's got to be safe. You know, my son's using it. Don't want him banging his head on a light. Don't want it overheating. Don't want it putting loads of, heat down on someone's head. It's got to be safe. I'm always safety first. So I'm looking for the right one to install. But just a lamp on the desk will do, But whatever way you go, you probably need to look at a light under there as well for it to work well. Even your main bedroom light or wherever you have the desk, depending on where it is in your room, might not get enough light underneath. So I need to get a light for under there. That's another one you need to do.
Illuminate. Illuminate.
Really. Ladder, solid. Again, there's stuff to be done with that as well, because they are very thin metal bars. Like X-Rocker, little bit of advice, steps would have probably been safer. They are just little, thin metal bars, and I get it. It's cheaper. It's easier to send out. It's easier to store. But perhaps steps for a kid getting in a bed that high, or whoever uses it, is probably going to be most beneficial and safe. Just my thoughts. Might store my own ladder in it in the end. Might set that up. Don't know. But for now, it's got the one it has on there. But a step one would have been better in my opinion. Otherwise, conclusion already. Yeah. Is it worth it? When you look at the price ranges of these kind of beds, is it worth it? Absolutely it is, because it's on the lower scale end of those kind of beds. And the X-Rocker carries a good name. You do not get a mattress with it. That's important to note. What? The desk is solid. You're never going to break that. You'd have to put ungodly amounts of weight on it to break it. Solid, doesn't rock at all. Well made. And will easily be a large area. I mean, look, you can see from the setup how much is on there. So overall, another X-Rocker purchase with my improvements and recommendations for you, X-Rocker. The amount of X-Rocker videos I'll be banging out, in the end, you want to pay me commission. Because I'm always speaking positive about you. But anyway, yeah, overall, decent. But bear the things in mind that I've said. Anyway, that's it for this one. That gaming chair one coming soon. Kids mini version versus normal X-Rocker, because they had to get in there as well. But for now, that's all we got. Take it easy. Bye bye.